Okay, this is the next segment. This is still continuing on. This is like the commentary on the review from India Arie's 2013 album Songversation. I'm reading to you the letter that's inside. A lot of the things I have in common with this young woman. I had an opportunity to meet her a few years ago before she became known, sometime between like, I don't know, 2000, between like 2000 and 2005. I met her at a small venue. Um, and again, I'll tell you the experience. People are not perfect. I'm just going to leave it at that. And a lot of times, artists, people that do music, dance, sing, write, whatever it is they do, or just feel like I do, um, it's it can be helpful to others and it can be beautiful for others, but it's for yourself. You know. Um, and here she goes on to say, lots of story to tell, but in short, today I am truly empowered. Things aren't perfect or easy, but what I understand now is that life is not about avoiding pain, it's about going through it and continuing on. Life is ups and downs. That is what it means to be alive. At our best, we are resilient. You are resilient. Beautiful flower. I am learning to accept life's ups and downs because they are the human condition. And I spoke about that earlier. The phoenix that rises from the flame set fire to its own nest. Growth is what we are here for. And that is so ironic to me because when I met her, I was in Atlanta. When I was in Atlanta, that's when I was dating, going through dating that one particular person, and it didn't end so well. And I remember feeling at one time like I had been pulverized. My educational goals, careers, uh, my thing with my home life, everything. I felt pulverized. I felt not only battered but pulverized, like I had just been disintegrated into dust. And you know how people talk about broken hearts and things like that. No, no, no. My heart was not broken. My whole being was pulverized. And I remember thinking to myself, because I always have a hopeful spirit that, like the flame phoenix, I have to rise. I cannot allow anything to hinder or keep me, at a place of non-growth. And and I agree with her. That's what we're here for. And so she continues on. I used to want easy. I've never wanted easy. But I now know that the best life is one where I can be in the flow. And I agree with that. Amen. Totally. The best life is not easy, but guided. Amen to that too. To be on the path of my destiny, to have that type of trust that has given birth to what I call that sacred space of peace in my heart. And I can understand it. I feel that on a daily basis. That is always there and calm, even when the inevitable storms of life swirl around me. This was my prayer for my life those years ago, to have a life with a base, a foundation. I understand and agree in that. Like, okay, I can't read this. I'm feeling base. Okay, to live a life with a baseline feeling of well being, and ironically, only by being willing to feel the pain did it stop having control over me. Now, for me, I've always allowed myself to feel, and I've always been open about the things that I feel because I feel like it's very important. I mean, again, as she stated, and as I stated over the years throughout my life, I love being human. I think the way society is going, it takes away, trying to take away and ridicule that humanness. But I love to laugh. I love to cry. I love to express, I love to observe. Life is a wonderful thing. Um, yeah, so, and she was talking about the baseline feeling of well-being, and I can completely understand that. And it's so ironic. Like I said, everything in my life happens specifically for a reason. I had quite a few jobs that I was up for. One, I guess, is no longer on hold. I needed to go to Miami to get some documents, and in the process of me going to Miami to get some documents, um, I got this other position that was offered, and like I said, God does everything for a reason. He wanted me to run into every single person that I ran into on this journey. And with this particular one, it's so funny because I talk about well being and I always talk about, I always rate myself on my total well being. And my well being to me is, those of you that watch know, social, spiritual, mental, physical. Um, social, spiritual, mental, physical, and what else did I have? I forgot there was another one. It's been so long since I really and financial. That's important. All five of those things, not even added environmental. And this company that I went to, their core values are right in line with mine. Theirs is live well, be well, work well. I believe in that totally. Those are my five aspects of it right there. Get your hands dirty. I believe in getting into it, getting done what needs to be done, living end to end. Start it and finish it all the way to the end. Being consistent. That's part of me. Embrace change. Absolutely. Different people, different variables, different times. It's all the same thing under the sun. But be willing to take different alternate methods of doing things to make things happen. I believe all of those things. And it's amazing that it's so intrinsic to me. Continuing on with her letter, life is about breaking the shell. And again, that was my favorite song so far that I've actually took time to sit. I've listened to everything, but not really listened. But this is my time actually sitting and listening to the music and the words and the melodies and seeing if I'm in agreement spiritually, mentally with the music. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. And I say amen to that. And I'm gonna talk about some topics that are kind of taboo. And it's difficult to talk about these things sometimes because society, but I think it's important to talk about. I remember I don't in any way endorse or condone any type of any breaking the law in any way. I'll just say that. But I remember a long time ago there was a woman, I think Mary Kay Letourneau, and she did something very bad. She had a relationship with a child, pretty much. Now, these people have grown up, and I think the last time I heard from them may have been like 10 years ago. These people have grown up now. I don't know how they're doing, but they decided after she got out of jail, they still ended up getting married. And a lot of people were against it still because they were like, oh, she caught him when he was in a depressive age, which I agree. And he I saw something where they were trying to put him on a bunch of different medications and things like that, and he was just like, life is meant to be felt. I want to feel, I want to feel whatever pain and whatever's going through, and I agree. I'm in agreement with that. Life is to be felt. We are human beings. We deserve to be able to laugh, cry, be happy, sad, mad, glad, be hurt, all of that. And I love that about being human. I love that about being me. I love looking out and seeing that and allowing those things to, be a part of my essence and my presence and who I am. She goes on to say, too much to say here, but I think you can feel me when I say there have been times during my journey that have been downright painful. And I say amen to that. The loss of my mother. If you lose a family member while they're still living, meaning that, they are no longer part of your life, I'm going to tell y'all that's one of the worst pains that you can feel. It hurts, especially if you spent like every day or every moment, thinking about these people and they were your only source of keeping up and staying up. But sometimes you gotta, and she said in here, and I didn't address this, and I did read it though, that like a phoenix, when a phoenix rises from the ashes, the flame from it rising and catapulting itself up, it burns its nest. So it's going to destroy your comfort zone. And you have to say thank you for that, because if not, you wouldn't be able to rise. So I'm just keeping that in mind. It's been a challenging decade thus far. I have to laugh just thinking about it. And this is her reading. This is her. I know it was all meant to be and was necessary for me to be right here. Amen to that. And I say that. That's why every journey that I have in my life, everything that I've gone through, I absolutely adore it. Again, it is a part of my journey to me being here, right where I am, right where I'm supposed to be. Everything to me is divinely and intricately put into place. And I'm happy about it. I really am. And she goes on to say, right now, writing this, and what a beautiful thing to be able to look back and laugh at it all. I wasn't sure, but I'm here. I'm here and I'm blessed. I'm definitely blessed. Me. This album, she goes on to say, Songversation, represents the birth of a dream. Back in 2009, I decided I would either do my career my way or not at all. And I hear a lot of artists saying this, so I think that's why I would never want to be famous or popular, because when you become a slave. Even socially, a social butterfly where everybody loves you, you become a slave because there's certain ways and behaviors people want you to be. You have to always be up or look a certain way. I like just being me. Some days I might be all that, some days I might not be, and I want it, and some days I may have all the answers, and some days I may not. And this cat is gonna come over here, and I don't know what she wants. I don't have any food, but um, yeah. So continuing on, she says, and like I said, I hear a lot of artists saying that. So that's why I never want to be famous. I look at it's just too, when you're like that, you don't have any time to yourself. You don't have any time to be introspective and state, what does Maria feel? How do I feel inside? How do I feel about this? Because you're carried along with the fame, with the flow of popularity. Oh, Maria, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this, and you're just hopping on the bandwagon, just going because you feel like you gotta be there because you make the party, you make this or that. No, I like the simple life, and I'm very thankful and blessed for the life that I live. I've always, and this is India writing again, I've always wanted to incorporate musical rhythmic instrumental themes from my travels. It's only natural to want to do that. Travel is, after all, the great teacher. I've always wanted to be an international businesswoman. But I guess in some ways, God will make that happen for me. In some ways, I am, maybe spiritually. Um, I had to go all this way to break those walls down and allow myself to feel my growth. In 2012, I just started making music I loved. I felt like I ran a marathon and got right to the finish line and was told wrong direction, turn around and go back the other way. On tired legs, I turned and kept going. And that finish line is Songversation. Early November 2012, I called my Turkish mom, an inspiring musician. I was going to read all this, but I'm not going to now because I think I have read this before. But just so that you know, that's where I stopped, and I'm looking at the next page. Soulbird Rise. I remember hearing the intro to that. There's maybe about 5 more songs that I need to have my listening session and listen to intently. But so far, that's what my review of it has been. I'm going to continue on, and I have quite a few more albums that I wanted to review. So I'm going to do that as well. Be blessed.